teams in Ireland played in Group B in the World Cup. Australia and Nigeria qualified from the group. Ireland failed to qualify. So we'll just look at how both teams have done. As we know, Australia, and we'll be doing the next podcast, Australia have reached the semi-finals. They had a great win in the last 16, and in the quarter-final there a few days ago, they had a dramatic victory over France in the penalty shootout. Then we had Nigeria, who finished second in the group and drew with Ireland. They went out in the last 16, but they went out only on a penalty shootout to England after a 0-0 draw. So just a quick word. So there's no doubt now, they always talk about these tournaments at the group of date. It now looks like definitely that Ireland were in the group of date. The two teams are qualified, Australia and Nigeria. Australia in the semi-final, and the team that play in the semi-final beat Nigeria in the last 16 in a knockout game. Just your thoughts on this.
Yeah, Paul, as we know ourselves, it was the group of date, and it panned out that way. I think Nigeria surprised a lot of people, surprised me, because I think in the previous episode I felt like it was between Australia and Canada for first and second after Canada had beaten us. But Canada had beaten us. But I think Nigeria surprised a lot of people. I think they were very, very unlucky against England, Nigeria, just to focus on Nigeria for a few minutes. I thought they played very well. I think they hit the crossbar in the first half, had a few half chances as well. Nigeria probably didn't take advantage enough. Obviously, enough bearing out the result. They didn't. They when Lauren James for England got sent off. They had a whole half an hour there against 10 women, against 10 players, and they didn't really make use of it. They didn't really put England to the sword. I think one goal would have finished England, because I think England were. I don't think England were going to come back and win it. Obviously, England probably might have got one goal back for penalties, but I felt England were on the rack, and to be honest with you, in the last couple of minutes, England got a free kick, and England looked like the more likely to score. So they didn't really push home their advantage, but I thought they played fantastically well against England. Just came up a little bit short. Probably Nigeria, although they didn't score enough, I felt. I think against Australia, I know they scored 3 goals, but they didn't score any goals against Canada. They didn't score against Ireland. I didn't score against England, and then I know they got the penalties, and the penalties. It's all about nerve at the end of the day as well. But it's just, I just felt after the Australia game, I thought they were coming into a nice bit of form. Because now could and should have probably beaten Ireland, but they had the better chances in the second half. We had better first half, but they didn't score enough after the Australia game. And now that I'm actually back, that was the only game they scored in. So they didn't take their chances, but they played some very good football. Very unlucky against England, I have to say. Very unlucky against England. But that's the look of the game, Paul. They didn't take the chances. England did, and then I think it was Chloe Kelly that got the decisive penalty in the penalty shoot to go through, I think it was.
Yep. And then, of course, Australia beat Denmark in the last 16, 2-0, and in the dramatic penalty shootout over France. So just before we move on to the next podcast, just a quick word. I noticed when the Irish team came home and the Irish manager, she was getting a lot of criticism. And I'm not talking from ordinary people, from what I would call professional sports journalists. They seem to jump on board, knock and criticise. And again, you're entitled to criticise. And as I always said before, you criticise for team selection, you criticise for the team you put on the pitch, what substitution, what tactics. But it seemed to be when they came home and they had the celebration of the homecoming, they was it O'Connell Street outside the GPO or what part of Dublin was. This number of professional sports journalists, I call them, seem to be knocking and saying they shouldn't be doing this, they shouldn't be celebrating. Look, again, they're entitled to their opinion, but I haven't seen them come out now and talk about what the two teams did since they knocked Ireland out of the group, you know.
Yeah, I suppose people might say, look, the Irish women have come a long way, and I suppose at a higher level, when you think of professional sports, coming last in the World Cup group, there's nothing really to celebrate. I totally understand that. I saw a few tweets, all right, to say people, look, let's not get over excited. We finished last in the group. We got 1 point, we got 1 goal.
Yeah.
But I think you have to, and I think that's true, to be fair. But the only thing I would say to that is, look at where the Irish women's team was. I think it's 50 years they are in existence now, or something like that. But the first international. Look how far they've come. They've come from nothing. They were changing their tracksuits in the toilets in the airports before they have to hand them back. I mean, if you think,
that's about 5 or 6 years ago, Noel, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Emma Byrne, the one that's doing a bit of who's an analyst now for RT, she did a bit of ITV as well. I mean, she was, I think, finishing up her career, but she didn't want that for the younger members of the squad. and she came from professional clubs, you know, and Arsenal won numerous titles.
Yeah.
I think she might have won the Champions League. So she was used to professional sports in England, and she thought the standards here in Ireland was atrocious, particularly preparation and the way they were treated. You know, I have to hand on heart now, Paul. I can't remember many Irish women's international games being shown live. Never mind.
I can't. I don't know.
Mind. So the interest just wasn't there. And now that they're doing well, the interest is there, and people are sort of, I wouldn't say taking snipes of the players or the manager, but it's just success breeds, you know, criticism as well, you know, because you're there on a higher pedestal as well, because you're qualifying for the World Cup. The world is watching, and Irish people are taking a huge interest now, and there is a huge interest now in the Irish women's football team. I mean, just for example, Sky are the sponsors on their shirts. The Irish men's team don't even have a sponsor for them for their team either at the moment. They've been looking at sponsors for numerous times, but they can't get one. Sky are backing them now. I suppose with the Irish women's team, they're popular now, and everyone wants to jump on the bandwagon. And with the sponsorship and the TV and the ads, you see it on the walls. Their Kenny McCabe's face was all over Dublin and advertising as well. So it's a good news story, and they deserve it. They've been down in the Dundrums for a long time, and they deserve it. Now it comes criticism. Now, well, we haven't heard of a peep of the FAI still.
Sorry, no, just before we finish up and move on to the next podcast, I think they did release a statement saying there's going to be this, is it an internal review or an external review, or that's just the final comment that before we move on.
Yeah, but I think, Paul, to be fair though, they actually said that as well before World Cups. They haven't said anything really new. I think there was always going to be a review. Now they probably just rehashed us, but to be fair to them, but I suppose they have said something they are going to review. But as far as I know, there was going to be a review of the World Cup anyway after this process. So to be fair, look, I hope they don't rush it. I hope they at least give Vera Pauw a meeting or a chance to put our points across as well. And whether they extend the contract or whether they just let the contract run out and say thank you and goodbye, but we feel we're going in a different position, which, to be fair, it's up to themselves as well.
Just before I finish up and we move on, I hope they do that and they do it fair. But I would be concerned, are they going to be influenced by these, what I would call professional sports medias? And I'm not talking about ordinary people in the internet, social media giving their comments, but people who work for a living at national media and local media, particularly the national media. I just hope the FBI won't be influenced by them people. I can't say they will, I can't say they won't, I don't know. But that would be my concern, because that seemed to be the vibe that I was getting just as an observer, watching as an observer, that the sports media were and professional journalists, and I just hope that the FBI will give the manager and her backroom staff a fair crack at it and won't be had by these outside influences. Your final comment.
I think so. I think that as long as Vera Pauw and our backroom staff gets a fair crack at the whip, and also, you know, consult with the player, everyone's going to be consulted as far as I know. Players, managers, staff, the whole lot. It's all should be in this review. And if they decide we want to go in a different direction, that's the FAI's right to do. And Vera Pauw will say, you know, that's football. Many coaches have been sacked, many coaches have been let go. Vera Pauw will just say, look,
that's the nature of the beast.
Continue on with me, that's fine, that's football.
Yeah.
That's the nature of the beast, that's professional sport, Paul. If an association feels they want to go on a different path and they're well entitled to do that, you know, you shake hands, say goodbye, thanks for 4 years. And you know, I do really believe that Vera Pauw has enjoyed her 4 years in charge of the Republic of Ireland team. She really has got a connection with the Irish team, with the Irish fans. Yeah. So it would be sad to see her go, but it's looking like a decision's going to be made a bit soon, Paul, because there's a big game against Northern Ireland in September 22nd or the 23rd. What date it is? It's Saturday, I believe.
That's about 5 weeks away, sure.
We need a manager in place, and Northern Ireland, as far as I know, Kenny Shields has left the post in Northern Ireland. If the Republic of Ireland decide to go down a different path without Vera Pauw, we need to fill that vacancy quickly, because there's National League games coming up. That's one of them before the end of the year. So if the FAI decide that Vera Pauw is not the choice, they need to get in a new manager quick. If they think she is, they need to. If they do think she is, they need to get that contract started and just move on, because the uncertainty, you know, everything's around the Irish football team now is uncertainty. We don't know whether Vera Pauw is going to sign the contract, if she's going to get one or if she's not. Or whatever it is, before the end of the month at least, they need to have all that sorted out.
Yeah. Well, no. Okay, no, that's fine. Stay online.